Hello friends, welcome to the channel. In this video we are going to discuss about AWS DynamoDB, which is NoSQL database provided by AWS, and now it also comes with PartiQL editor where you can use this editor to query your database straight within the console. DynamoDB is fast and secure as the data is stored in encrypted form and the data is replicated over multiple availability zones to ensure the high availability of data. So let's start with this video where we are going to see how we can create tables with DynamoDB and how we can also upload the existing data through S3 bucket to DynamoDB tables and how we can query the data in the PartiQL editor. So let's start. Firstly, we need to select the DynamoDB service. So you can also search for the service. Let's start by creating a table. So select create table. Give the table name. So let's create the employee table. So I am giving the name employee. Here the partition key and sort key are very important as they are part of the primary key. So let's give the partition key as enumber and sort key as ename. And both are of string type, and rest I am keeping the default settings. And create table. So here the table is in creating mode. It is still taking some time. So let's refresh for the status. Now the employee table has been created successfully and the status is active. So click on your table to list the items and other options. Here you can check the detail of your table. And it's the item summary as we have not added any item yet, so it is showing item count at 0. By items here we mean the rows or entries in your table. So let's start by creating some of the items within your table. For this you need to select explore table items and scroll down, and here we are not having any item. Click on create item. Here we are getting the option to enter the e-number and e-name. So let's enter the e-number as 101 and e-name as Shilpi. And here the item is created. As you can scroll down, the first row of your table is created. Please note that the rows or items are not here inserted like the normal relational database. Here the items are inserted in the form of key value pair. So let's try to create one more item and see what the key value pair means. Here click on create item, and this time I am going to add another employee number and the employee name as, let's say, Ram. As it is NoSQL database, so we can add new attributes to any items anytime. So it is not following any fixed structure like tables. So let's start by adding one more attribute of type string, and here I am adding department. So let's add the department as sales and click on create item. So let's create one more item. This time I am going to give the employee number as 303 and name as Ria, and this time also I am going to add a new attribute of type string. The same, let's take the same name as department, and this time the entry is CSC. So this is the form view of your create item option where you can give the attribute name and the value for that attribute, and you can always use the JSON view as well, or you can write the JSON code to insert the items into your table. So let's have a look for the JSON view as well. So this is the JSON view to add the 303 as e-number and e-name as Ria and the department as CSC. So you can also write the JSON code like this to perform the insertion of items to your table. So let's go with the form view only and create item. Here you can see 3 rows are inserted as items in your table. So now let's try to query your table, and for this AWS is providing PartiQL editor through which you can directly write the queries in your console. So just click on PartiQL editor. So here is the editor where you can write your query, and here is the list of tables. Here I am having only one table as employee, so Here is the detail of employee table with e-number as partition key and e-name as a sort key. So let's try to write some query to list the values or to list the items in the table. Select star from employee. Here you can also use this scan option to query your table, to add to editor your query table, table name, set items and drop items. So let's try with the select star from employee and run the query. Here the table name attributes name should be written in double quotes and the value you are comparing should be written in single quote, and the status of the query is complete, and here is the list of items in the table. As we have selected all, so it is displaying the complete table items. So this was a simple query, and PartiQL editor can write the queries for you as well. So click on 3 dots along with your table name and click on scan table. It will be equivalent to select star from your table name. If you want to query your table, then you can select the other options like query table, table name, set item and drop item. So let's select the query table this time. So this is the query table and this was the scan table option. Here this was the scan table, select star from employee, and this was the query table option. So it has provided the complete template for querying your table. Select star from employee where e number is. You just need to add value. For example, I am adding 303 and e name as Ria, as this is our third record. And here, as we are having 2 queries written in the editor, to run the second one you need to select the query and click on run. And the status is complete for the second query, and here is the result: Ria, CSC department and employee number as 303. So this is how you can query your table with the help of PartiQL editor. And the other option is imports from S3. So this option can be used to import your existing data from S3 bucket to DynomoDB tables. So just store your data in the form of CSV file or JSON file and you can directly import your data from S3 bucket to your DynomoDB table. So let's try this option as well. For this, select the import from S3. Here, these are my earlier imports. So let's start with the fresh import and select import from S3. So here you need to provide the URL of your bucket where the data is stored. So let's create the bucket first and try to upload some data over the S3 bucket as an object. For this, just go to S3 service. Create bucket. And bucket names are globally unique, so you need to take your AWS. So this is the name of my bucket and I am not enabling the ACL. And to access your bucket data through DynomoDB, you need to allow the public access. For this, you need to uncheck this option and also acknowledge this thing. After that, we are not enabling the bucket versioning. Simply create bucket. So the bucket is created with the name AWS Cloud DynomoDB. So just click on your bucket and create a folder. As my data is related to cloud, create folder. So the folder is created. Why we had created the folder? Just because if you have to access multiple data from the same bucket, then you need to provide different paths. So for different data, you can have different folders. So that's why we have created the folder over here. So click on your folder to upload the data. And for this, just click on upload file. And you can select the file over here. So let's review the file that we are going to upload over here. Here is the data that I am going to upload. This is the CSV file with these headings as period, seeded, season, NC, SC. So this is some sample data. So select your file. So this is my data set. After adding the file, simply click on upload. So data is uploaded and here is the destination path. You can copy the path to the bucket with this option, copy S3 URI. So just copy it and now go to your DynomoDB interface. Here give the URL of your bucket. You can always browse for your S3 bucket as well, but I had copied it, so I just need to paste it. And rest, I'm not selecting anything else, just the type of file that we are uploading. So my file type is CSV and we are allowing to use the first line of source file as header. And next, now give the name of the table, and as it is my cloud table, so I'm giving the name as cloud table. Partition key I'm taking as the first attribute, that was period, and the sort key as the second attribute, that was seeded. Click next and now I'm just using the default settings and click next. This is the summary of the upload. Import. Here you can check the import ID and the table name where the data is uploaded is cloud table, and it is taking some time to import. So let's refresh it. It is still importing, and now go to tables. Here the cloud table is created, but the status is still creating because it is taking the import time. So we need to wait. It takes a couple of minutes to upload the data, and it also depends on the size of the data we are uploading. So the status is active now, the data is uploaded in the table, but some of the items were not uploaded because of the failure of validation check. Rest of the items are uploaded in our table. You can check by clicking your table name and explore the table items. And here you can check the items that are successfully uploaded. The items, those who have failed the validation check, are not uploaded for your table, and for that import was failed, but rest of the data is uploaded. Make sure your data is well formatted before uploading. So here the table is uploaded. Now let's try to query this table. This time go to PartiQL editor and we are querying for the cloud table. So just click and scan table. So the table query is here. Select star from cloud table and run your query. The table items are here. So this is the result of your query as status is completed. Next, try some other query, and for this you can select query your table and here select star from cloud table where partition key equals to this and partition key value equals to this. So you can provide the attributes here, like I am providing where season is spring. Where season is spring. So let's run the second query. The command has been executed successfully, but no items are returned as the result of query, just because I have returned the spring in lowercase and the string and the value is in uppercase. So let's try writing in uppercase. This time run the second query and here the query is completed, and this time we are getting the result because the queries are case sensitive. So these are the values where season is spring. So in this way you can query your table, you can upload your data through S3 bucket easily to DynomoDB tables. So that's it for this video. Hope you have learned something. Happy learning. Bye and take care.